All right, welcome to the Empower Room, and we're so glad to have you with us on this edition of Empowering Moments. And I'm your host, Reb T, and look forward to having a wonderful dialogue on today as we engage in our topic on today. As we all are aware, this is Black Music Month, so have some wonderful guests on that we're going to dialogue in regard to the influence of Black music. All right, so let's get ready to do something. Here we go.
Welcome to the Empower Room for Empowering Moments with your host, Timothy Hughes. Empowering Moments is brought to you by Empower Media LLC, where we empower you, parents, and the entire community with transformative information to move mind and spirit to a higher state of well-being. So welcome to the Empower Room, and let's get started.
All right, well, welcome again to the Empower Room. I'm your host, Rep T, and Empowering Moments is a wonderful format that we have here on Facebook Live and on YouTube, and you can follow us at MPWR Media LLC, and we encourage you to leave your comment, leave a hashtag, emoji, also subscribe to our YouTube page. We're also on X as well. And that's at LLC MPWR. At LLC MPWR. All right. So we have this format to kind of share some of the things that Empower is about. We do a wide variety of different things in relation to the publication world. And so one of the things is, again, this format that we have. And then we also do publications. We have a book that I'm the author of, and also a magazine that we also have available too. That is a quarterly magazine. And our next issue will be focused on the election coming up in November. So we will encourage you to check out our website at MPWRMediaLLC1.com, and you will be able to get more information in regard to what is available on our website. All right, and we do presentations as well. I want to encourage you to check out our presentation page so you can learn more about the presentations that we customize to fit whatever your audience may be. And present it in a manner that will empower your community and prayerfully provide you the impact that you were hoping to have. That's why we customize it. So we make sure that all parties are happy and what you are wanting to get out of the engagement has been accomplished. All right. So in this format, we cover three areas on a regular basis. We usually cover culture, consciousness, and civic concerns. But on today, since we have focused on Black music, we're going to be mainly focused on culture and civic concerns. So with that, today we have some wonderful guests that are with us and want to introduce two of them that are with us on today. For sure, I know we have been having some technical difficulties and are blessed to have two of our guests that are on with us, and hopefully our other guests will be able to join us as we have this engaging conversation. All right, so first off, I'd like to invite to the room Mr. Israel Sanchez of Brownie Beats. How you doing, Israel?
How you doing, Tim? I'm good.
All right. So it's a pleasure to have you with us all the way here from Dallas, Texas. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, Dallas, Texas.
All righty. And then we also have Brian Hughes. And if you notice, you may not know that we have the same last name, and that is my brother, Brian Hughes. And he's here all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I want to thank him for being with us as well. And hopefully our other guests will be able to join us as well as we're engaging in this conversation. All right. So again, I know this is a Black Music Month, and I wanted to bring on some musicians from different backgrounds, different genres, different age groups, different generations, and all that. So we are going to go ahead and get it kicked off. All right. So first off, how you all doing today?
Doing good.
All right.
Good.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right. So, from the aspects of music that you all come from and what you do, can you share with the audience what has been your influence in the music industry for yourself? What influenced you to get into the music? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. What influenced me, especially in hip hop? I mean, growing up, I always heard music around the fam. I got especially in church, I had some relatives that played instruments, and I was always just gravitating to the live music and, why does this instrument make this sound and why the verse, my ears were already learning how the chorus and the verse happened, and they took out some instruments. But then, just in my neighborhood where I grew up, I was listening to hip hop playing around me, and that especially got my attention. Just how the beat was made and how it was so hip and repetitive and easy to follow, and the rappers getting on it were just saying some crazy things
Mm-hmm.
out in the cookouts in the park and stuff. It was just kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it started the seed of the hip hop growing in me, and then later on, I just wanted to be honest, just being from Texas,
Mhm.
I started just freestyling. Everybody freestyles here.
Oh,
You just be around your friends having a good time, and
mhm,
one of your favorite beats would come on, or you wanted to freestyle to one of your favorite songs at the time. So it
mhm.
started off with that, and eventually I wanted to, make my own beats to the freestyles for my friends,
All right.
and that's kind of how I got into making beats and producing music.
All right, all right. Now I appreciate you creating beats because the beat that is the intro to the show is from Brownie Beats. So thank you again,
Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Yes, for that beats. I appreciate it. All
yes
right, all
sir.
right. I think it really sets the tone for the Empower Room. All right, brother Brian.
Yes, sir.
So how has music? What got you into the music industry? I mean, how did this happen for you?
Well, the industry is different. I mean, in terms of are you asking what got me into the industry or what got me into to music in
Into
the first
music?
place?
Yeah,
Okay.
in the first place.
Well, obviously, we both grew up in the same household. So, but our mother was a choir director, and put us in piano from the time we could pretty much walk and talk. Uh,
Right.
and obviously, if you know anything about music, the piano is the best instrument to learn how to orchestrate from. You can write parts for just about any other instrument from the piano. So, our mother was she had a musical background. She was operatically trained, uh, vocalist, soprano vocalist. She loved classical music and opera a lot. So that's where I first like saw passion in human form through music from
Mm.
our own mother. And our father was also, in his era, everyone walked around carrying a horn. And so he played trumpet for a little while in the military. And after he got done with college and all that, I think he kind of put music to the forth, to the back, and didn't really get back into it so much in terms of playing it. I mean, I think he was definitely into music and liked hearing it, but he wasn't as much of a participant as he got older, especially after he got married and had a family.
Mm.
So, but yeah, obviously the church was the big thing. Mom having us in choir, and then also, playing piano, and then for a little while in middle school, our music director, because I went to a Lutheran middle school and high school, wanted to incorporate me as an accompanist for piano for the choir at different points in time, and that just kind of opens you up to the performative aspects of music.
Sure.
And then hip hop started hitting right in the middle of the 80s.
Right.
And that was literally when I was a child. And I had older brothers like yourself and Terrence and Everett even. I mean, you guys were always playing something interesting, either in your car or in your personal record collections. So that whole mesh of family plus whatever was popular, the radio was huge too.
Right.
You know, I remember you guys all having stereos of some sort around the house.
That's for sure.
And once you have to kind of become conscious of how to access technology in order to, beyond just television, right? I mean, if you're going to listen to radio, you got to figure out how to navigate that thing and find radio stations that play what you're interested in hearing. And we had tape decks on our stereos that you guys had in the house. So the first thing I ever did that I think contributes to DJing or anything was I would just tape KHTR and Magic 108 and KCFV and 88.7 WSIE, their jazz station. I just recorded as much of that music as I could because I wasn't old enough to go out and buy it yet. So, but yeah, I mean, it's the best if you grew up in a musical household or, that's part of your family's culture. There's no better way to be introduced to it because you see the joy in it and the passion in it right away. And now I can't live without it. I can't even go to sleep without music.
Isn't that something? That's cool. That's cool. Okay. All right. So, do y'all have a favorite artist? Genre? It sounds like hip hop is one of is a prominent one for sure. Are there any others or any specific artists that really stick out to you that is like your go-to person or anything like that?
Man, that's a touchy subject because I have like an all-time list and I have like a hip hop list, but man, I would say Prince, I think, or
Really?
Jimi Hendrix, yeah,
Really? Interesting.
for all around, yeah.
Wow, interesting.
hmm
Because it's amazing when you look back now with him, at past and seeing some of the live performances that Prince did. Man, that dude was phenomenal, man.
Yeah, he
I
was.
was blessed to see him live in Kansas City when I was
Man,
that's huge, bro.
University, man, and that concert was off the chain.
Yeah, you can't even monetize that experience. I mean, people try to nowadays. People tell stories. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Right.
But Prince live was something to behold. That was an era. I think he was really ahead of his time, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah. He was something else. Really. That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah. How about you, Brian?
I mean, I love good music. Like now I'm really into this Afrobeat thing. It's huge. I love seeing the fact that music from the continent is becoming like popular, like majorly pop, but also the global. I lived in Japan for 5 years. I watched J-pop and K-pop. I watched their rise while I lived there, and to see Korean pop music blowing up. I mean, Nia obviously is really big into that. But because of the internet, there's this much larger scope of music that you can experience outside of what I talked about earlier in terms of radio, and just having that as the only conduit to what you heard through the rest of the world or whatever your community served you, right? Now, because of the internet, there's so many sites, there's streaming, there's Bandcamp, there's SoundCloud. You can follow a number of different influencers who are into a certain particular style of music, whether it's electronic, whether it's funk, R&B, anything, hip hop. There are all kinds of people who are curating the sound now, and it's really interesting because the whole thing that never changes to me is the competition to get to your ears first. That'll never change. I remember that was a big deal when I was in high school. If you had a tape before somebody else had it, that made you, that up your status.
You got some spread.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, the same because I know when you were in high school, it was about the record that you had. If you had it first, I'm sure.
Back in my day, y'all, I don't know if y'all then I know nothing about this. Brian may know, but because it's from the house parties, the
Mm.
disco
Oh, yeah.
versions of the
Yeah.
music.
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's
we'd be
right.
on the dance floor for 30 minutes
right.
on Parliament Funkadelic
Mhm.
flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was too young to get out there, but I could hear it. If I had my window cracked open, I could hear it out there.
Man,
Right,
They'd be
right.
cut up, but they'd be dancing all night. Yeah.
what
Yeah,
a
I
time.
just saw a tribute to Bootsy Collins, and I
Mm.
forgot how funky his stuff
Oh
was.
man, he
Oh
was
my God, they
phenomenal,
did
man.
an excellent tribute to him. I think I saw it last week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So, why do you think black music is so influential? I just want to speak to that during this during being this Black Music Month. Why do you all feel that black music is so influential?
I just think it's so pure, man. Kind of how Brian touched on just the Afro beat as well. Starting from there is just so pure and it has like a human feel where I think hip hop kind of brought in with even if you go back from the start of American music, it just came from like the blues and
Mm-hmm.
the spirituals and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just coming from like a place of struggle, but still making beauty from it, still making art from it, and inspiring people to this day. I don't know, it's just like a purity and um, it just sounds good. I don't know. It
Okay.
just sounds good and feels good, and
Right.
it a lot of people have tried to replicate it to this day,
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
and,
I agree.
or steal it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Real. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I think Israel hit the nail on the head. It's a human connection. People people want to hear stuff that touches them.
Mm,
I think from the time you're a young person, if you have music introduced to you that touches you in a way, it's almost like it's like a drug. You
mm,
want to keep revisiting that feeling again and again.
mm,
And as you get older, it becomes part of your nostalgia,
mm.
right? Like you talked about seeing P Funk and Bootsy again, and how that brought you back to a feeling you probably had when you were, a younger person, right?
Right.
Like that to me, that human fabric is strong in black music. It's probably the strongest because
Mhm.
like Israel said, there's pain in there.
Mm,
But there's love at the same time.
mm, mm, mm,
And there's so much like history, especially in America, when it comes to their origins of American music are very deeply intertwined with Black culture. So that starts with the gospel church
mhm,
up through classic Delta blues
mhm,
into what became Northern blues in Chicago and
mhm,
parts of Detroit, all the way up into Canada at
Mm,
times. And then it became R&B and
mhm,
rock and roll, like
mhm,
that, just like that. Like,
mhm,
mhm,
Little Richard, you know what I'm saying, and his contemporaries flipped the script on what was normally blues at that time and
mhm.
R&B and turned it into rock and roll just by
mhm.
upping the energy,
Right. Right.
and it's interesting. I was watching this documentary. It's a 4-part documentary on HBO now called it's about Stax.
Mhm.
The I think it's
Oh,
called,
mhm,
yeah, it's either The Sound of Memphis or The Sound of the South.
mhm,
But it's a beautiful documentary because it really shows um, how attractive music was, or really always has been, to people,
mhm,
to bring people to it. But the other side of the business is what happens once it becomes a commodity or a very strong asset. And like Israel said before, people try to steal it or take advantage of it.
mhm,
I encourage y'all to check it out if you haven't, because it's a very
Mhm.
good example of what is pretty much like common in the music industry, especially when people of color
Wow.
color are involved.
Where was that at?
It's on HBO Max or HBO if you have it. Obviously, you're still running cable, but
Yeah.
it's Stax, the famous label from Memphis that obviously propel Isaac Hayes and
Mm.
Otis Redding and Booker T and the MGs. That all came out of
Yeah.
Memphis, Tennessee.
mhm.
At
Okay.
a time when you know I mean, it's very much still the Jim Crow South through it started in the late
Man,
50s all the way up until the mid 70s. And
wow.
the most interesting part about it to me, man, is they the city of Memphis uh, pretty much destroyed that label. They tried to disappear them. They
Mm,
they the bank that they did business with, yeah, the label that was their distributor, because they had become so much more powerful and generated so much more money as a primarily black outfit. Of course, the people locally were jealous of that, and um, they pretty much tried to disappear it. They literally destroyed the building that supported the entirety of that business. The studio, the whole operation, the parent company was all demolished within literally months of them being. You never hear about this in, above board,
Mm.
because in business, typically a business can be bought and sold,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Um, in their case, they were destroyed. They literally tried to disappear them. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like, and I think it's very interesting. People should be paying attention to this,
Mm.
because this is the stuff they try to not have you learn about,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um, because they feel like everything's all good now, when it's obviously still not. But yeah, it's a very interesting documentary. I thought it was really well done,
Mm.
and I thought it was done the right way.
All right.
And it pays homage, because they've reestablished now, on the site of where Stax was originated. There's a museum there now that I
Right.
think opened in the early 2000s. I want to say.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's on
mm,
Gill Street. Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Somewhere in
So,
the vicinity. Mm.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
yeah.
dope,
Yep,
dope.
indeed. Well, we have Brian Hughes and Israel Sanchez with us as we're talking about Black Music Month and getting some insight from both of them. They're both producers. Israel is out of Texas. Brian is out of Indiana, Fort Wayne. So grateful to have them on with us. We had a group of panelists that we were expecting, but unfortunately, we've been running into some technical difficulties. So I'm glad we were able to get 2 out of the 5 on with us on this afternoon. So thank y'all again. So, anything else you all would like to add in regard to the black music, your connection with it, what you may be doing with it, however you want to flow with it is all right with me.
Man, I just want to say I love it, and I'm just trying to contribute my part to it
Mhm.
and treat it right. I feel like I've been able to make this, black hip hop music and share it with people and been embraced, and that truly means a lot. And I would never try to, take it and try to steal it or gatekeep it. I'm just trying to give back to what it gave me. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, I definitely second that. I mean, like, it is a pure thing. It's a pure art form. It gives people so much joy and freedom.
Mm.
I think that's a bigger thing of why the music is so why people get such a strong feeling from it, is because I think people are just trying to channel freedom through it. You
Mm.
know, um,
Hmm.
freedom to create, but freedom to express yourself at the same time. Whatever your background is, I think Black music really inspires people to step out of their comfort zone and be truer to their inner self. You know,
Yeah.
just through their passion, their love for it. So, yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of it. I've always been. You
Mhm.
know, obviously I could talk hours about it, but
For
Yeah,
real.
yeah,
yeah,
but it
Uh,
has its healing properties and all that too, because it's like with this current political foolishness that we're experiencing right now. I mean,
mm,
especially just in this week, I've had to turn off because I'm a news junkie. So, but I have had to change the channel, you know, quite a few times this week.
you're
You
not the
know,
only
yeah.
one.
settle my spirit and my mind and my heart and my soul. And what has helped me to do that is, hey, listen to some R&B, listen to some jazz, listen to some gospel.
Hmm.
Change that energy. As I'm
Yeah.
from you all. The energy is important, so I had to change that energy, to settle my spirit. So grateful for it. So grateful for it. That's for
And
sure.
on that topic as well is another reason why I've loved black music or hip hop. It was always very conscious and talking about the social issues, which was super brave, especially before than more than now. Like
Mhm.
really just talking about what's going on and gave us music to start some revolutions and start some movements,
Right, right,
which is dope to see as well since the beginning how it's been able to communicate through that and just talk about the struggle and like the underdog perspective, which I think I mean, I'm first generation Mexican American, but my parents are immigrants, and that's kind of what you relate to at first. It's that underdog story of like, we don't have much, we don't have nothing, but we're still gonna, pop our stuff and, be cool and
right.
try to get this hustle on and be better for ourselves. I definitely appreciated that as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm. Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, Brian.
Hmm?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, hey, Israel's got it all covered, man. I'm telling you. No, this is, when you asked me, I was like, okay, this is the one time I know I'm gonna show up because it's, I'm passionate about it. I think music is. I always challenge people to imagine a world without it. You know,
mm, mm,
because the larger percentage of your brain links so much of your memories to music, and I
right.
think
Right.
I know this because I worked in record retail.
That's right.
Mm,
Right.
People would come in the record store humming and singing, and you're like,
mm,
man, I totally. And that's the thing about it too is you learn people's different perspectives and how they interpret things
Mm,
based on music,
mm,
right?
mm, mm,
To piggyback on what Israel was saying earlier, like Public Enemy, for instance, like we used to be big into them when we were younger,
right.
and they, in so many ways, like changed the minds of so many people
True.
who don't look like us. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like there are so many people who imagine if they didn't have a group like that to influence them to think differently,
Mm,
or to challenge the way they see things around them, because everything else in media entertainment is really propaganda meant to keep you in step and in line,
mm-hmm.
as a consumer and as an employee, right?
Right.
So, when you listen to music, like I said, it's that conduit to freedom,
Hmm.
and it shows you the alternative, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and it
mm,
allows you your imagination. Obviously that along with other like mind freeing formats, like reading is also important, right? But
True. True.
these artists are highly influenced by what they read and what they're educated on, and back in the day that was big, KRS-One and even
Right.
Ice T and all these
mm,
guys, they were talking about you know
mhm,
their culture,
Right.
whether that was street culture or whether that was ancient African culture. Like this was the format. Hip
Hmm.
hop was the
mhm,
format to like embrace a different form of communication so people could hear, oh really, I didn't know this was going on. It was like they said, hip hop in the early days claimed itself as the CNN of the streets, you
Yeah.
know
mm,
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
so
mm,
it's questionable now in my opinion.
Right.
mm,
Very few artists above ground really feel like they need to say anything, but
mm,
for the most part, the tradition, I think things work in cycles. The tradition
mm,
paints a picture that says, look, this is a format you can use to your benefit, but also to your community's benefit if you choose
mhm,
to,
Right.
So
Right.
mhm,
That's awesome. That's awesome, and I think that's a good way to look at it. And I mean, that's the reality of what we're dealing with certain genres and all that type of thing. So, hopefully, we're gonna keep hope alive, and music will continue to do what music does, and bring us all together in every genre. It would be outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. So, how can people reach you if they're interested in learning more about Brownie Beats? Where can they go?
I'm on pretty much all social media platforms. That's Brownie Beats Texas, Brownie with the Y. Beats TX, Brownie Beats Texas, or browniebeats.com.
Okay, all right. You covered Brownie Beats. All right, all right. Okay, Brian, can people reach you if they want to reach out to you, my brother?
Well, I'm a sales engineer at Sweetwater Sound. So obviously, I'm trying to serve people every day with the type of technology and the gear that can help them either enhance their sound or just kind of learn how to make music and whatever their influence or their interests are. So, best place to really reach me is to hit me up at the job because I love talking to people, meeting new people, and finding out how I can help them. My email at Sweetwater is Brian, like I spelled there, BRIN_Hughes at sweetwater.com. You can send me emails there. I'm also on SoundCloud. That's just pretty sure that's under B Moolah, so B-Moolah. And then yeah, I'm on Instagram. That's pretty much the only social media I use at the moment. I'm on there periodically from week to week. Bare Knuckle Beats with a Z at the end is the handle on Instagram. So and you can obviously befriend me there and reach out. But yeah, that's pretty much best way to reach me.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I want to thank you all so much for being with us in the Empower Room and this discussion. My brother Israel and I go back to one of our former employers, and he and I have become good friends. And I mean, he treated me to a Mexican restaurant and introduced me to some foods I was not familiar with, and want to thank him for that. And again, like I say, the intro to Empowering Moments, he put that together for us for the intro for Empowering Moments. So thank you so much, Israel, man, and we'll be in touch for sure. And Brian, my brother, thank you so much. It was good hanging out with you a few weeks ago and all that, and your mama's happy.
Good, good, good.
All right, so y'all.
Sure, our dad probably is too.
He is for sure.
For sure.
All right. So God bless you guys. Y'all take care. We'll be in touch now. All right. Well, we want to thank our guests for being with us in the Empower Room as we discuss Black Music Month. Hope you found the conversation engaging, and so sorry for our other guests that weren't able to join due to technical difficulties, but we'll see what we can do to bring them on at a later date. All right. So again, we want to thank you all so much for being with us in the Empower Room. And this is our Summer Breeze series, and trying to get some tips in regard to our Summer Breeze, and wanted to share with you on today that the tip is, to make sure that you incorporate a trip for you and your family. If it's just for you, that's fine too. I mean, you could drive, you can go by air, you can get a train, you can hop on a bus. I mean, there's even the mega bus is an option too, and that goes to certain places and it's reasonable. Do that for yourself. You'll be surprised how that will impact you, your family, how you will reflect back from when you went on a trip, for you to think about how that experience was. So I just want to encourage you to think about that in regard to things to do during the summer. Last week, we shared some movies that we recommended that you may want to check out. We had some outstanding guests from Ecuador that have a community there that celebrate African Americans in Ecuador, and I thought that was a very good show. So you're able to check that out on our YouTube page if you're interested in learning more about African Americans in Ecuador. So I encourage you to check that out. All right. So also, I want to also lift up In the Blink of an Eye, an Out of This World Experience. This is a book that I authored along with my wife that shares my testimony of an experience I had. We were actually speaking of music, going to see Frankie Beverly and Maze. And unfortunately, I was not able to attend because I had a sudden death heart attack on the way into the auditorium on that day. So I want to encourage you that you're able to pick up this book at Amazon or our website, MPWR'ing1.com. You're able to check it out there, and we'll be more than happy to hope you have an opportunity to purchase it. It's a short read. It's been very well received by a lot of people. They find it very inspiring. And a lot of folks have said once they pick it up, they can't put it down. They have to continue reading it to the end because it captures them in that manner. So we're so grateful for the response, and we are excited about some book signings and also events that we'll be attending as well in Fort Worth, in Houston, in St. Louis, in Mississippi, and just excited. So we'll be sharing more information about that in the coming episodes of Empowering Moments. All right. So again, we thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. And I want to also remember to lift up also we about doing something. So we want to also show our support for a good friend of the Empower family, Miss Qualisha Jones, and the murder of her son, Quincy McMillan, in Phoenix, Arizona. So they want us to supporting them with this hashtag Justice for Quincy McMillan. We please encourage you to please continue to put that out there. They are wanting to get to the bottom of what happened to her son there in Phoenix, Arizona, and we will be following up with her to get more information in regard to how the investigation is coming with her as well. So please keep that in mind. Her email address is Qualisha Jones there at gmail.com, and they're looking for donations to help to provide a reward money for those that will come forward for her as well. All right, so please keep that in mind and keep the family in prayer as well due to this tragic incident that they have experienced in their family. And I did know Quincy from when I was working in the school district in Ferguson, Florissant School District. He was a student there, very young, very good young man, very mannerable, intelligent, humble young man. So it's very tragic that he was killed. So prayerfully, we'll get justice for him and peace for his family. All right. So again, we want to thank you all so much for joining us in the Empower Room, and we hope that you have a good rest of the week. And again, don't forget to do something. Check out our website, MPWR'ing1.com. Check out our presentation page where you can see presentations that we provide. Also, we're on YouTube. We're on X as well, and you're able to follow us. Please subscribe to our page and check us out. All right. We're with you every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. All right. So next week, we're looking forward to a special guest that we'll have on as well. It's a miracle testimony that we have of a young man that's going to share what he experienced with some health issues that he had and how he has been blessed to still be with us. All right. So again, we want to thank you all so much for being with us in the Empower Room. We hope you've been empowered on today and you have a good rest of the week and a good rest of the evening. And God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank you. Have a good day. Don't forget to do something.
Thank you for joining us in the Empower Room. Hope you have received some impactful information. Please like or leave a comment. See you next week in the Empower Room, brought to you by Empower Media LLC and your host, Reverend Timothy Hughes, aka Rev T.